model. It's a new model of digital organization that operates without a central authority. DAOs are powered by smart contracts on blockchain technology, allowing members to collaboratively make decisions and execute actions in a transparent, democratic manner. So it's a new version of an organization, like a company that operates on the blockchain. Is not like the central company that we all know about, like Shell, Total, all those stuff. It's a company but based on the blockchain, where people can make contributions, do jobs and all those things. You know, people get employed and on DAOs, and so it's a little bit different from the traditional, you know, organization that we are aware of, that we all know about. So I'll explain further. Next slide. So now the key characteristics of a DAO we have is decentralized. When I say decentralized, DAOs are not controlled by a single entity, but rather governed collectively by their members through voting and consensus. So it's decentralized. There's no central authority. There's no CEO in a DAO. Get? And community members or DAO members make decisions by, you know, voting on proposals. For instance, if we have a budget and we want to, you know, we need money to do a particular project. In any traditional company, those funds will have to go to the CEO for approval, or perhaps the board of directors need to approve those funds for it to get to where it's supposed to go to. But in case of a DAO, it doesn't work that way. Community members need to vote. All of us, we need to vote. So there's no board of directors in a DAO. So we all have to vote and decide if this proposal is good enough for all of us. If we have a budget, let's say $1 million for salaries, and we say, okay, we need to distribute these funds, it has to go through a proposal, and we, as members of these DAOs, have to make that decision. You know, it's not like a centralized system where the CEO and some board members can take the decision. It needs to go to, you know, the community so they can vote on those proposals. So transparency. All transactions and decisions made by DAOs are publicly viewable on the blockchain, ensuring accountability. It's very transparent. All the funds that goes out from the treasury is very transparent. You can trace it on the blockchain. The decisions are there. You could see especially on forum. They call it forum, where DAO members interact, is called forum. Some of you perhaps already on Aircoin DAO forum. Most of the traffic people tax you're running on is an initiative of Aircoin DAO. Before Thrive Protocol gets those jobs you guys are doing now, it was the decisions in Aircoin DAO that we should run time capsules in 6, and that we have a particular budget. I think the budget for this season was about $800,000.
Jesus.
for this initiative was $800,000, and it went through the DAO process, and people voted on it, and it was agreed that season 6 of Aircoin DAO should take place. And the contract was given to Thrive Protocol. So Thrive Protocol is like a subcontractor that is working for Aircoin DAO. So they got the job, and we all got in. So we are just probably like the employees of Thrive Protocol trying to do this stuff for Thrive Protocol. But the real owners of these things is Aircoin DAO. That's why the token you guys are getting is Aircoin. So transparency in a DAO, these decisions will be taken openly. Everybody is going to see it, and you can also make comment on it. I think some couple of weeks ago has been making comment on Aircoin DAO. I don't know if they're still doing that now. So autonomous. DAOs operate automatically according to predefined rules encoded in smart contracts without the need for central management. So it's autonomous. When I mean autonomous, is nobody is controlling it. So incentivized. DAO members are incentivized to participate and contribute through token-based rewards and voting rights. Now in DAOs, we don't call it salary, we call it reward. If you are a very active member of a DAO and you're playing a very key role in a DAO, you will get rewarded. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, but we don't call it salary, we call it reward. Next time. Now, how DAOs are organized. Now, DAO are organized by governance. DAO use tokens to represent voting powers, allowing members to propose, debate, and vote on decisions. If it's okay, basically on governance. If I want a change in the DAO, for instance, I don't like the way things are going. A lot of people have been disenfranchised, or perhaps people don't get what they are supposed to get. I could put up a proposal. And said, okay, I don't want this thing to continue any longer. Then I'll push it on forum. Don't forget, where DAO decisions are really taking place is forum. We'll place it on forum, and people that likes my idea can also contribute to those ideas. They can also write up stuff and say, okay, I like what this guy is saying, and at the end of this discussion of forum, that my idea will be moved to the next action, which is vote. People need to cast a vote on it, and the platform for doing that is called Snapshots. It's a platform where you could connect your wallet, and for you to vote, you must have this particular token. For instance, Apecoin. You must have a Apecoin in your wallet for you to vote on that decision. So on Snapshot, you could click your vote. So this is all governance. That's all what governance is all about. This process is all governance. Then we have treasury. The DAO treasury is controlled by a smart contract with funds allocated based on member votes. Like I said earlier, if we have certain amount of money to pay salaries, we could decide to vote on, let's release $1 million for salaries. People could say, okay, it's a nice idea, let's have to vote, and these funds will be released. So the treasury is controlled by smart contract, and funds are allocated based on member votes. And the kind of wallet used in the DAO is called the multi-signature wallet. I was about to tell you about the multi-signature wallet in the last class. So example of that kind of wallet is called, I think, really forgotten the name. I was before the class ends. I remember. So it's like at least more than one person has to sign. It's like the normal signature that you go on a traditional bank, like perhaps the church account, the secretary has to sign, the church chairman has to sign, the treasurer has to sign, and before the funds can leave the bank. Yeah. so the same thing applies in the multi-signature wallet. At least 3 to 4 people has to sign, who are very key contributors to the DAO before you can send funds out. So that's how the treasury works. It's not like the normal regular wallet that we have. It's not that kind of wallet that we use in DAOs. Now, operations. Automated smart contract handle the day-to-day operations of a DAO, eliminating the need for centralized management. So everything on the DAO is running on smart contract. Smart contract is simply code that are running on the blockchain. Next slide. Now, advantages of a DAO structure. Centralized governance. DAOs allow for democratic, transparent, tamper-proof decision-making using the risks of centralized control. Reduce overhead. DAOs operate automatically, eliminating the need for traditional overhead costs like employees and office spaces. So in a DAO, you probably do not need an office space like this. everybody is working remotely all over the world. So that's probably one of the advantages of DAO. Alignment of incentives. DAO members are incentivized to contribute and participate as their interests are aligned with the organization's success. So if you like the DAO, you like what they are doing, join the DAO, make contributions, and you get rewards doing that. In global accessibility, anyone with an internet connection can participate in a DAO, making them accessible to a global community. So it's probably a global community anywhere in the world. As long as you have access to the internet, you can also be part of a DAO. Like perhaps most of you are already ApeCoin DAO members. You don't know. Next slide. So challenges and limitations of DAOs. Number one, legal and regulatory uncertainty. The legal structure of DAO is still evolving, which can create challenges around taxation, liabilities, and compliance, especially in the developed world. You're still talking about taxes and other stuff, so you can't really place your hand around that. Then scalability and complexity. As DAO grows in size and complexity, managing participation, decision making, and technical implementation can become increasingly challenging. So potential for abuse. DAOs would potentially be used for malicious purposes such as money laundering or fraud if proper safeguards are not in place. So those are probably one of the challenges of the DAO. Next slide. Now, use cases for DAOs. Investment funds. DAOs can be used to manage investment funds with members collectively deciding on investment strategies and applications. Charitable organizations. DAO can facilitate transparent and democratic management of charitable funds and initiatives. An example of that is the Arbitrum Foundation. Bitcoin DAO is also an example of a charitable organization where they allocate funds to grant for public goods. I talked about public goods the other day. What are public goods? Anybody? Yeah, public goods. What are public goods?
Yeah, I mean that we are entitled to.
Okay, so that will not work.
No, I said
Yeah, no, before you say example, we need to give the explanation of the public good. For those of us that are not here. Public good. Any idea?
Public goods are the goods that is open to the public for use,
Okay.
such as good roads, amenities, electricity.
And will not, the end part of it, and will not stop any other person from accessing it. Like we use this road now.
I respect that, so is it public good? Can you contribute?
Temeka can also use this road and it must stop it from using the road. If Temeka uses electricity in his house, it will not stop it from using electricity in my house. So these are also public goods.
Public goods, I think also a teaching, free teaching.
Stuff that you do for the good of humanity.
For road, I pay tax.
For the good of humanity without, like what we are doing now is the form of public goods. So DAOs can facilitate transparent and democratic management of charitable funds. So DAO community projects, DAOs can enable the collaborative development and governance of community-driven projects and initiatives. For instance, what happened in Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, there's a particular DAO called Ukraine DAO. The purpose of Ukraine DAO is to raise funds for the injured, those that suffered as a result of the war in Ukraine. That's basically the purpose of that DAO. And there's another DAO called Pixar DAO. I think basically to eat Pixar, give free Pixar back and other stuff. Now when I say software development, DAO can coordinate the development and maintenance of open source software project. So software project that people can use, free of charge. You don't need to pay money. You can get the code. You can build your stuff. Like Arbitrum DAO, people can actually build stuff on Arbitrum. So those are probably one of the advantages. You've already moved this slide.
Yes.
Fast one. Let me ask you this. Now, the future of DAOs, mainstream adoptions, as the technology matures and regulatory frameworks evolve, DAOs are expected to become more widely adopted across various industries and use cases. So, people are adopting the DAO pattern of doing things. They are moving away from the traditional way of doing things. Basically, I love the DAO idea, if you ask me, because it doesn't limit you from, as joining the DAO from any part of the world. There's no form of limitation. There's no form of discrimination. It's a little bit, reduced compared to the traditional company. I don't need to go to the US or the UK to work in a particular company. Probably as work here in the US. So increased interoperability. DAOs will likely become more interconnected, enabling seamless collaboration and resource sharing across different decentralized organizations. Expanded capabilities, advancement in blockchain technology and smart contract will allow for more sophisticated and capable DAO structures and functionalities. Next slide. So getting started with a DAO, these are the things you need to do before you start with DAO. If you want to start with DAO, number one is define the purpose, the DAO's purpose. What is the purpose? Determine the collective goals and mission. What is your DAO going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? That's just it. Establish governance, decide on voting rights, proposal processing, and more. Launch and grow. Board members and continuously improve the DAO. So, onboarding. Who knows what onboarding means? Any idea?
Yeah, onboarding.
Onboarding.
Yeah, it's like admitting people to the admission.
Bringing people on board. So, next slide.
They no clap for me.
So, now, example of successful DAO is Bitcoin. How many of us are heard of Bitcoin? How many of us are heard of? There are no channel have heard of Bitcoin. It's in the heard of Bitcoin.
We have, but we don't know.
You know, okay. You don't know what Bitcoin. So Bitcoin creates solution that empower digitally native communities to fund, build, and protect what matters. So that is their mission. That is their purpose. That's the purpose of that DAO. They create solutions that empower digitally native communities to fund, build, and protect what matters. Next slide. Now, grants funding. This is all part of what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin grants. You can participate in a quarterly grant program to fund open source and impact-oriented projects. So, if you have an idea, or you're doing stuff already, public good stuff, not stuff you charge money. It could be climate change, planting trees, removing garbages on the road, beach cleaning, education. What you're doing is also part of public goods. Education, it could be building open source software. People can use these softwares for free. These are all public goods, and these are probably one of those things that Bitcoin funds. Those are project funds. And Grandstart, easily manage your on-chain grant program with our customizable all-in-one solution. If you want to run a grant program, if for instance I have money, and I want to give money to my community members, to people that are doing stuff, impactful stuff, right? I can go to Gitcoin. And Stack, I already explained what grant stack means, right? You want to build stuff. You already have your grants and you want to give it out to your community members. You can come on board with grant stack and help you run that. For instance, there's a community currently that they just ran a grant, and I think it was SAI. They ran a grant on Gitcoin grant stack, and community members from SAI applied through the Gitcoin platform. And if they were actually doing stuff pertaining to SAI blockchain, those grants will be approved. And at the end of the day, funds will be allocated to these SAI members. So this is what grant stack means, that you can actually come on Gitcoin grant stack and run your grants there. Allocation protocol. Allo protocol stands for allocation protocol. Build on our protocol to efficiently and transparently allocate shared community resources. So you could use already built protocol to build your own stuff as well. That's what it means. Next slide. Now, cyber defense. We also have cyber defense, and we have Gitcoin passports. Now, cyber, what does it mean? Any idea what the word cyber means? Okay. In blockchain Web3, cyber is a very serious issue, because on Trifodable, for instance, we have a lot of scammers, a lot of people who are bots. They're not real humans. They just want to game the system. Get tokens and all those stuff, do some shady jobs, and those are cybers. People that try to game the system, bots, it could be bots and all those stuff. So Gitcoin fight against this through what we call Gitcoin passport. Gitcoin passport creates a secure digital identity, prove your cross-pollinate the online. Passport for communities. Passports protect your community members and share resources with our free open source cyber defense tool. So if I have a community, let's say in Trifutable, we could see on Trifutable we could see Bitcoin. If you were connecting, those of you that connected your wallet and other stuff, connected Discord, connected Twitter, you see Bitcoin as well, right? You saw Bitcoin, right? So now it's a way communities can actually come to Gitcoin, integrate Bitcoin passport on their platform to check cyber activities. For instance, if you have an issue and an incentive to give out to your community members, like you want to give them a certain amount of money, you could, but you do not really know if these folks are your real users. So Bitcoin passport can now come in to help you check if these people are real humans or they are bots, and you can actually screen these folks out. So that's what passport does. Next slide. So far, Bitcoin has raised $60 million so far in public funding. So Bitcoin grant has helped raise over $60 million towards public goods and open source projects. It has had over 3,715 projects so far. Bitcoin has supported the funding of thousands of impactful, projects and initiatives so far. Next slide. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can stop now. So if you have any question, in our next meetup, I will be taking you guys through the Bitcoin passport, how to sign up on Bitcoin passport, get the scores you're supposed to get, one of the stuff about getting Bitcoin passports is that most communities rely on Bitcoin passport to give out incentives. For instance, if ApeCoin DAO decides to give out incentives to those people who are contributing on their platform, almost all of you will also be beneficiaries. And if they decide to use Bitcoin passport as one of those criteria, you will definitely be left out because you are not registered on passport. So, apart from Bitcoin, several other airdrops, incentives, some other platforms, they now rely on Bitcoin passport to give out incentives. If you don't have a Bitcoin passport, it will be difficult for you to get it because they need to really ascertain the real users, the real humans from what. So, in our next class, I will talk about Bitcoin passport and how to, how can sign on, come on board on Bitcoin passport.